Yo, what's up guys? This video is going to be about leveling up, getting XP, and progressing through the game on Solo Leveling Arise. Currently it's still early access, but it does come out soon in May. So for anybody that's interested or just getting started, this video should be really helpful. And yeah, let's just jump in. So going into the main part where you're going to level up and get XP and progress, that's going to be the story mode here. I've already completed it on normal, so I have finished this on normal mode, but I'm kind of stuck here on a certain boss in hard. But let's just go to a fight, for example. For this one that I haven't been able to complete yet, I do get a good amount of XP, about 25,000 for this one. Obviously, when you're just starting out, you're not going to get this much XP. It kind of scales as you level up. But yeah, this is a big area to get XP. A couple other things to note here that's really important. There's also these challenges for each mission, so you're going to want to try to do these. And if you can't do it right off the bat, no worries. However, you're going to have to come back probably later on and replay the story so you can get all of these trophies and rewards. So it also gives you these tickets here, which are really important. This is how you get weapons and hunters, so yeah, definitely circle back for that later on. So story mode, yeah, pretty much the main area where you'll get XP and progress. The next area, it's going to be the gates. This is another huge area where you get a lot of XP from. You do get XP from completing a gate, but you also get XP for these bundles down here at the bottom, which I'm not saying like you have to pay or anything, but the bundle means like you do a set of, I think it's like 3 and then 4 and then another 4 gates. So you get XP here, which is a pretty good amount. So just make sure every day when you're logging on and playing, you go ahead and use all of your keys. And there's also a couple other things to note here if you're not familiar. There's gates where you play as Sung Jin Woo and you kind of have your hunters as support. So that's this icon here is Sung Jin Woo. There's also gates where you play as just your hunter, so you would not use Sung Jin Woo for these. So just note there is a difference in the gates here. And then the last thing just to pay attention to, if you have some cash to spend or if you don't really need the XP as much, you could just do these sweeps here. This will instantly complete the dungeon, but it is limited to how much power you have. So you want to make sure you have enough power, and there's also a limited amount of points here. Um, and yeah, I don't know. This is really up to you guys if you're spending or not. Typically, what I'll do just to min-max properly and get the most value, since I am actually free to play, I will usually go ahead and just play through the gates. So I'll go ahead and enter and play through it. But if you're maybe don't have if you don't have as much time, or if you do have some extra money, then yeah, feel free to sweep these, and that's no problems. Yeah, so story mode, gates. These are going to be the two main areas where you get XP from in terms of playing throughout the game. The last area is just in the what is this called? Activity fund. So here you can collect this once a day to max it out. Actually, I can actually go ahead and claim this right now. So this gives me a good amount of resource, both XP, gold, and some other stuff here. So as you can see, my XP bar should shoot up a decent amount. Yeah, there we go. So that gives me a good amount of XP as well. So just to recap, story mode, gates, and the activity fund, this is how you're going to level up. And when you level up, of course, you're going to need to put those levels into your stats. This will also change throughout the game. I did make a video a little bit about this, like what's best for Sung Jin Woo. Early on, it's going to be maybe a little, what's it called? You can kind of divide it up a little bit more in the beginning because you're, really squishy. So my stats look different just because I've already played through a good amount of the game. So you might want to put some stats into vitality early if you're dying, but once you get stronger and you get some better gear, you can just go attack and precision for the most part. So that's also an important thing, that if you're struggling on damage, Sung Jin Woo does scale off attack, so you want to make sure that you can max this out. Of course, artifacts are huge as well. This is probably like the next most important thing. If you're stuck on a boss, it's probably because of your artifacts here. So you just want to make sure you try to get the best artifacts as possible. And you do get these artifacts by playing both the Encore missions and the Instant Dungeons. I believe these are unlocked a little bit later on, so not like if you're just new or just starting playing, you're not going to have access to these yet. But as you progress, you're going to be able to do these certain bosses here, like the Spider or Cerberus. So this is going to drop gear. However, This does not drop any XP, so don't expect to like level up from this in terms of like stat points. It's just strictly for the gear. So hopefully that's helpful to know as well. And I mean, there's some other game modes, but it's kind of, you get different material. So like Battlefield of Trials, I don't think that this gives you any XP. It just gives you these different things here. So like this is like the tickets, this is like the gold. So yeah, no XP to be found here, but it can help with some other resources throughout the game. And then I think the last thing to pay attention to that's really helpful in progressing, definitely go ahead and do your challenges. I'm down here towards the end of chapter 12, but when you're just starting out, try to keep an eye on this and just, I mean, they're usually completed as you go, so you don't usually have to stress about this too much, but this can definitely help get you some resource. You get some hunters from this, you get some other stuff, so yeah, definitely pay attention to the challenges and try to do this as you go. So I think that's pretty much it for the most part. I wanted to ask as well, if you guys are stuck on a certain boss, actually let me know in the comments. I was thinking about making some videos about the different bosses here, like Egress, or some of the other bosses, because I got stuck on Egress back when I was just playing on normal mode. It was really, really challenging to do Egress, and I think the thing that you'll do this as you go, but when you get stuck, you're going to probably want to tweak your gear. So it's kind of like a trial and error. You're going to probably fail, you know, a good amount, but I mean, I guess that's just life. But going back to Sung Jin Woo here, so if you are struggling on certain fights, try to tweak your gear, maybe enhance them a little bit. Definitely have the best gear as possible, and this just makes, you know, take some time, especially if you're free to play, if you're not really spending anything or if you're not spending a whole lot. It's just going to be a slow progression of kind of like a daily grind. But over, you know, a week or two, you're definitely going to make some really good progress, and you'll eventually, you know, get over that hump. And another thing that I was stuck on, I was really stuck on floor 25 of the Battlefield of Trials. I kind of looked up a guide, and I think it's really important to note that the skills actually also play a part. So you want to make sure if you're fighting a boss with break, you're going to want the break stat, and if you're fighting a boss that doesn't need break, just use a straight up damage skill. You don't need the break stat always. It just depends on the boss that you're fighting, and usually it'll tell you. So if I was to go into story mode, go to Egress, start this, usually right here. So it's going to have like a, you know, a break gauge. So you can see that right here. So if you need break runes, what I would do is I would go to like my abilities, and then I would switch it to like break. So I would equip this. So just another thing to note. So try to just line up as best you can what the bosses are weak against. And you can also see the recommended elements here. So for my weapon, if I go to my weapon, I would probably want to equip like a light weapon. So I would equip this one right here on the right. So yeah, hopefully this is helpful. You guys can get through a bunch of the different content, level up and progress. Again, let me know if there's any bosses that you're stuck on. I'll probably make some videos for that. So yeah, thanks again, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.